Hello, brethren, companions, and friends. Welcome to the Working Tools Podcast, the podcast where we explore the ideas, symbolism, history, and philosophy that sit at the heart of Freemasonry. I'm your host, worshipful brother and excellent companion, Stephen Nagy. And this episode is brought to you by the Learning and Development team here at Surrey Freemasons, supporting brethren across the province in their journey of learning, understanding, and personal growth. Now, at some point in almost every Mason's journey, something begins to happen. You attend a meeting. You notice a brother or a companion owns some different regalia. You hear references to Mark, Royal Arch, Rose Croix, Knights Templar, the Secret Monitor, the Red Cross of Constantine, or the Allied Degrees. And before long, someone shows you one of those diagrams. You know the ones, a giant chart full of arrows, colours, titles, jewels, crosses, swords, triangles, and names that sound like they belong in a medieval manuscript. And suddenly, you find yourself thinking, what exactly is all of this? Well, this episode is all about that world. The world of Appendant Orders. Not as a recruitment pitch, not as a complicated lecture, but as a friendly and honest exploration of the many paths that exist beyond the Craft Lodge. Now, what are Appendant Orders? First things first. Under the English Constitution, there is no degree higher than that of a Master Mason, and that point is important. Appendant Orders are not higher ranks. They are additional Masonic orders and organizations that explore different themes, traditions, stories, and different aspects of Freemasonry. Some expand on symbolism. Some continue historical narratives. Some focus on philosophy, and some focus on Christian chivalric traditions. And some are simply wonderful spaces for companionship, learning, and enjoyment. Think of them not as climbing higher, but as traveling further. Different roads, different landscapes, different experiences. Now, for many brethren, the first step beyond the craft is the Supreme Grand Chapter and the Holy Royal Arch. And under the English Constitution, the Royal Arch holds a unique place. It is regarded as the completion of pure and ancient masonry. That's an important distinction. The Royal Arch doesn't replace craft masonry. It completes and enriches it. For many companions, it provides answers to questions they didn't even realize they were asking. And once that door opens, many brethren begin exploring further. Now, why do people join Appendant Orders? This is probably one of the most important questions of all. And honestly, the answer is different for everyone. Some brethren are drawn towards the deeper symbolism or philosophy and maybe even the esoteric study. Others love the ritual, the theatre, the pageantry, and the history. Some are attracted to the Christian chivalric traditions, the knightly symbolism and spiritual reflection. Others simply enjoy the friendship and the visiting and spending more time with like-minded people. There's no right or wrong answer. Freemasonry is a personal journey. Different orders resonate with different people. Now, one of the wonderful things about the Appendant Orders is just how varied they are. Each has its own atmosphere, its own personality, its own style. And once you start exploring them, you quickly realize that no two orders feel quite the same. Now, you have some orders which are considered philosophical and esoteric, and they focus heavily on symbolism, mysticism, philosophy and reflection. Bodies such as the Societas Rosicruciana in Anglia and the Ancient and Accepted Rite, they tend to attract brethren who enjoy deeper symbolism, contemplative study, and spiritual or philosophical exploration. These orders often encourage reflection rather than instruction. They reward patience, and the more you put into them, the more you tend to get back. Then you have the chivalric orders. Things begin getting wonderfully medieval at this point. Swords appear, mantles appear, titles become increasingly dramatic, and suddenly everyone looks like they stepped out of a Crusader film. Orders such as the Knights Templar or the Knights of Malta and the Red Cross of Constantine, they carry strong themes of honor, faith, service, and Christian knighthood. Some of these orders require candidates to profess a belief in like a Trinitarian Christian belief. And for many members, these orders become deeply meaningful and spiritual experiences. Then you have the orders that expand the story. Some orders explore what we might call the missing pieces. Orders such as Mark Master Masons, Royal and Select Masters, and the Allied Masonic degrees. They expand upon themes and stories connected to the wider Masonic tradition. Many brethren love these orders because they provide additional context and perspective. It's a bit like discovering extra chapters in a book you already enjoy. And then you have the fellowship orders. And these are orders where companionship and friendship become central themes. Bodies such as the Order of the Secret Monitor or Scarlet Cord, and others with a strong visiting culture. They're often described by members as warm, welcoming, and deeply supportive environments. And honestly, this is one of the great hidden strengths of Appendant Masonry, the friendships. Because while ritual and symbolism matter, Freemasonry has always been about people. Now, let's address something honestly. At some point, many brethren encounter what I like to call the temptation to collect memberships. One order leads to another. Someone invites you somewhere, you enjoy it. Another invitation arrives. Before you know, your calendar looks like a military campaign plan and you own more regalia than actual clothes. And while there is humor in that, there's also an important lesson. Freemasonry is not about collecting titles or memberships. It's about meaningful engagement. You don't need to join everything. In fact, most experienced brethren will tell you it's far better to be active and fulfilled in a few orders than exhausted in 20. Join what genuinely resonates with you. Go where you feel inspired and, most importantly, enjoy the journey. Now, one of the things I personally find fascinating is how different each order feels. Some are deeply reflective. Some are uplifting. Some are theatrical. Some are academic. Some are incredibly formal. Others feel immediately warm and relaxed. Each one reveals something slightly different about Freemasonry and perhaps about ourselves as well. And I think that's part of the beauty of the wider Masonic family. No single order contains everything. Each offers another perspective, another lesson, or another experience. Now, why do Appendant Orders matter? Appendant Orders matter because they allow Freemasonry to continue unfolding throughout a Mason's life. They provide continued learning, new friendships, fresh inspiration, and deeper understanding. They remind us that Masonry is not something complicated in a few ceremonies. It's something explored gradually over time. So if you've ever looked at one of those colourful Masonic charts and wondered where on earth it all leads, hopefully this episode has made it feel a little less mysterious. The beauty of Appendant Orders is not that they take us away from craft masonry, but that they help us to return to it with a deeper understanding, different paths, shared principles, one continuing journey. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Working Tools podcast. If you have enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify. It really helps others discover this podcast. And remember, the working tools are in your hands. What will you build?